Hey, what's up everyone? I wanted to give you an introduction to a tool that I've been working on that I'm calling EnvelopWebVR. It basically gives you a way to connect to Envelop and get the level and positional data out of Envelop and then reuse that in your JavaScript application. So I want to show you that I've built this little UI that allows you to connect to a UDP server wherever Envelop's being hosted. Currently, I'm hosting it on another computer that's behind me that you can't see right now, and I have a loop playing of a piece of audio that I've mixed for the Envelop installation. So here you can see that I've connected and I have data coming through of the Envelop connection. I've created a piece of audio that sort of emulates coming up through the floor. As you can hear in the playback of the example, you'll notice that this might not be the best approach for creating something that has a rising sound. And that's kind of the point of this audio, or of this tool, is to explore what graphical representations look like connected directly to the audio, so you don't have to spend a bunch of time going back and forth between production and sound design. All right, so the little white ball that you can see coming up and down actually represents the Envelop for live input. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a track to record the data of that input. You can do so by clicking here. We're going to call it input 1. Select input. Then I'm going to go over here and click input 1. Taking a positional sample rate of about 1 per second, and I currently do not want to modify the data. Okay. Now that I have this track, I'm going to go here, I'm going to click here, and I'm going to arm it to record. And then we're going to wait for this envelop loop to start over again. As soon as it does, we'll proceed. Okay. Now I've started recording, and you can see that we're taking the positional data, and I'm actually automating the Z axis in the Ableton Live, but the reason it shows up as Y here is because of the model that I had to interpret from the processing installation. Is basically a left-handed coordinate system, and 3JS is what I'm using in the browser, and it's a right-handed coordinate system. So essentially I'm flipping the Y and the Z axis to make that work. It's a little more complicated, but you can see that in the code. Okay, now we have our Y data, and this actually looks a lot like the automation curve that I made in Live for the Z axis. So now what we're going to do is we're going to record, or we're going to add a keyframe track, and this keyframe track will allow us to follow that data. So as you can see, I selected the sun, as I want that to be our keyframe modifier, and I named it sum.position because that's how we'll recall it later if we would like to save it. And I want to modify the Y. Then I'm going to go here, I'm going to select this track, I'm going to say I want you to follow the input data for input 1 and follow the Y-axis. Okay. Now, since I'm done with the envelop data for now, I'm going to hide it. We can disconnect, close it, and now when I play back, the sun should follow the input of what the envelop input was following. And there you go. And if you like, you can go back and, view envelop again, and you can reconnect, and, if you wanted to sync these up together, you could modify your mix in real time and also connect that, back to the sun if you wanted to. And that's all I have for today.